Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Hook. Today we're going to be making smoked chuck roast on the Big Green Egg. Normally you see that cut of meat usually on a pot roast or a crock pot type of menu. However, we're going to smoke it today low and slow on the Big Green Egg. Again, as always, if you find these videos useful, please like and subscribe to help me grow my channel. Thanks again, and let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so the first step that we're going to need to do here is make sure we get that green egg lit. As you can see, I already lit it with my grill torch, and I put a couple of these apple smoking chunks by Big Green Egg buried there in the center, because obviously this fire is going to work its way from the top down and the center outward. So I want to get as much of that smoke on the front end of this cook as I can while the meat is still cool and accepting the most smoke. All right, so once I have that fire started, I'm going to let this kind of warm up a little bit. And again, I'm going to be trying to catch about 225 to 250 degrees. All right, for the meat prep, it's fairly straightforward. There's really no trimming involved because the chuck roast is already fairly well trimmed and definitely a marbled piece of meat. For the binder, I'm going to use Heinz yellow mustard. And for the seasoning, it's basically an SPG salt, pepper, garlic made by Kinder's here that I picked up at Walmart because I didn't want to mix them all myself. So I'm going to go ahead and put a layer of yellow mustard on, and I'm going to go ahead and season that with that SPG salt, pepper, garlic rub all around the cut of meat. All right, as you can see, I did a thin layer of yellow mustard all around the chuck roast. Now it's time to apply the rub. Again, that's that salt, pepper, garlic rub. And I'm going to do a pretty generous layer all around the chuck roast. All right, welcome back. As you see, I put a pretty good layer of that rub all around this chuck roast. Now it's time to make sure that we're trying to catch that 225 to 250 degrees on the egg. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in my indirect setup. You can see here with that drip pan and those half moon heat deflectors beneath that. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the egg and catch 225 degrees, and I'll be back once I have that accomplished. All right, welcome back. As you see, the egg is approaching 200 degrees. It's about 170, but we're producing some good smoke. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the chuck roast on right now. I'm going to go whatever side has the most fat up, which is going to be this side, okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close the egg. I'm going to make sure I monitor this temperature because I really want it to catch around that 225 to 250 degrees. I already kind of closed off the top vent a little bit. And then once we're getting closer, it's going to be just less than a finger width, probably like less than half of a finger width left there on the air intake to maintain about 225 to 250 degrees. All right, so once we get that going, I'll be back. Thanks. Alrighty, so it's been about 5 to 10 more minutes. We're looking good here. We got about 210. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of close this off to try to make sure we capture that 225-ish to 250 degrees. So I'm gonna start with that, all right? And then like always, when you're using a charcoal smoker, is make sure that you're coming back and checking the temperature periodically. And obviously it's more crucial right at the beginning because once you kind of have it dialed in, you know, the easier it is to maintain that temperature throughout that long cook, all right? All right, so I'll be back here in about 3 hours, and we're gonna take our first temperature check and see where we go from there. All right, welcome back. It's been about 3.5 hours. Got a little busy. Taking a look at this, we're about 140, 150, 150. About 150, so staying pretty moist. Pretty happy with that. I'll probably be back here and we'll give it about another hour. And then obviously I poked it with a bunch of holes, so now it's starting to bleed out a little bit. But I'll be back in about an hour and hopefully be around 160 or 170. And then we're gonna go ahead and wrap it till it hits about 200, 205. All right, we'll be back in about an hour. Welcome back. It's been about another hour. Get another temperature check here. 152, 57, 153. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it 1 more hour unwrapped, and we'll come back and we'll take another temperature check in about an hour. See you then. All right, welcome back. It's been about another hour. Again, its temperature's pretty much stalled out, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it and we're gonna throw it back on. All right, so I went ahead and wrapped it and ran my grill brush across the grates a couple times just to get rid of all that gunk. Throw this back on here and we'll check on the temp in about, call it 2 hours. See you back then. All right, welcome back. It's been a little bit over an hour and I have a feeling that it's definitely gonna be done. All right, so about 204, it's pretty smooth. All right, so definitely done. Got roped into doing some extra chores, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put this in a cooler with a towel in there, and I'm gonna let it rest for about 2 hours before I slice it for dinner. And I'll be back and show you what the final product looks like.